Hey everybody, welcome to Example of Play. I'm Joe. Hope you're ready for some more Shadow Empire. This is going to be part 2 of the Let's Learn series for Shadow Empire. In the first video, it ended up being a lot longer than I planned. It was like right at an hour. We covered a lot of different things in just the first couple turns of the game, but leaving so many more things to discuss. So in this video, we're going to kind of do the same thing. We'll play a couple more turns, just do things as they come up, take some different actions that you might want to take. And just explore the systems of the game. And again, this guide is not meant to be like an optimal strategy. It's not the best build order for anything. It's just exploring the basics of the game, and then as we move, we'll hopefully see some more advanced things as we go. But right now, just trying to get familiar with everything. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so picking up kind of right where we left off last time, we were trying to finish constructing this metal mine so we can get our economy up and running. We need a source of metal so we can get our industry up, so we can get some more industry points, and that'll let us kind of start building everything else we want to build. And one of the things we're missing here is that we need some more machines, which we don't have a way to produce automatically right now. We have to use the workshop to kind of hand make a few at a time as those resources become available. And now we have enough rare metals, but we still don't have the industry points because those are getting sucked up trying to do build the metal mine. And that's really kind of a rate limiting step at the moment. Not much we can do about that directly, but another way we could get some machines, because we need one, we could always use more, is to go over here and pick trade. And you can trade with these kind of unseen traders. If you look through the manual, there's actually a really in-depth simulation going on under the hood of what drives the prices and availability of different goods on here. And as you go further into the game, there is a trade system with other regimes. You can set up tariffs and things with other major regimes. There's a lot going on, but for our purposes, all we need to know is that you can click this trade button and spend some of those credits we have that we're accumulating. We can spend some of those to buy some resources that we need, and available is 2 machines, and we can buy those for 89 credits a piece. We've got almost 600, so sure, we can just slide that over and buy 2 machines.
Yes, sir.
And now we have those available to us, so we get those immediately, and that can be applied to that metal mine when we end this turn, and that'll get us closer to that being finished. So that's another way we can get some stuff over there. All right, and then one other thing we'll do this turn before we move on, we'll go back to our stratagems, and we'll play this recruit junior leader. We actually have 2 of these. Just to get one more leader in our pool available, we need to slot someone in on future positions. One thing we'll look at here, notice that it costs 7 political points for this one. We have 51, so that's not too big of an expense. If, say, we had this card for recruit merc, this gives us someone who's moderately skilled at war, so it's going to be a leader who's good for warfare, which could be good if we need a leader for our bigger military units later on, or to put on some kind of military related council might be useful. But it costs 46 political points, which is going to be a big chunk of what we have. So you kind of get what you pay for. One thing I'll point out here, I didn't mention last time, you can hit scrap mode here. And so say you had a stratagem that you had no intention of ever playing, you can actually scrap those here. And then if you get 15 scrap points, you can craft a new stratagem. So you can get something useful out of that if you've got cards you don't think you'll ever play. But we'll hang on to all of ours for now. We'll go ahead and play this, so there's no target, there's no difficulty test. This one just happens.
Yes, sir.
And we get a new leader. We'll look a little bit harder at our leaders later, but just the place you can go to see, one place you can see a list of all your leaders is here on your reports, your personnel overview. And then here, so Dick Valerian is our new reserve pool member, so he's not assigned anything just yet. We can click on him again to see stats. So you have good relation to start with. That's nice. And then if he has a high technical rating, so he'd be good for things requiring that, which we'll look at probably maybe in this video or the next one for sure. We'll take a deeper dive on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and end the turn, see what happens. Now we see the AI turns a little longer now, so there's more out there, more going on. All right, so no losses. We have 3 decisions, 60 reports, so many reports. We had a little random event. Scavenger team found 2 high-tech items. That's nice. And we got some new stratagems. We can propose peace, another spy, bonus. We can send 100 credits to a leader as a bonus payment. So that's nice if we need to make someone happy. and then give us a little message thanking us for expanding our territory some more. Look around, we see our spy down here has revealed some of this territory, at least what the terrain looks like. Maybe not what's there exactly. And then Fog of War is kind of pushed back what we know even here nearby. And then we have this going on up here, so that's going to be one of our decisions. So a few turns in, you'll get some decisions like this. So this is some adventurers, like a private expedition went out. They found a hex with something special on it, and now they want us to help them hold it. If we click on it, see it is a geyser turbine, so it gives us plus 50 power if we can get it connected to our city. But it is way out there. So before deciding this, we might consider, can we even accomplish this? Because they're on it right now, but they're not in supply. It's gonna be tough for us to get out there because it's gonna be quite a couple turns just to move out there, assuming we don't run into any trouble. Debusica, that's what I'm going with for them. Debusica, their territory runs down to here, so we'd have to go around it to get there. So kind of iffy if we could even accomplish that. Basically, it's like, do you want to take on this little side quest or not? It's good if you can, but if you say yes and then you can't do it, that's not good. People won't be happy. If we say no, some people won't be happy, but our enforcement will go up. Basically, you guys need to follow the rules and don't run off by yourself. I'm gonna go with no, just because I don't want to commit myself to something right now that I don't know if we can accomplish, because we've got pressure from the other direction too.
Yes, sir.
We'll just say no. Now we got another decision. So there's various factions within your nation. We have the Equality Party. They're going to have some of your leaders are going to be part of these factions, and the factions will want different things. And of course, you can't make everyone happy. You can try to, but generally they're going to may want competing things, or they may want you to do things that you don't want to do. They just want us to take on a candidate into service. So basically give us another junior leader or another leader to assign somewhere. So we can probably accept that one. If we look here, we can see he's the faction leader for the Equality Party, so that's why he's the one asking us. And of course, it'll make him happy if we do this, so
Yes, sir.
sure. We'll do that. Now that party likes us a little more, and we come to the report tab and look at our personnel overview and see we added Vlad Cunningdark as another reserve pool member who has a few stats, is good at democracy. That's good to know. Or that's the thing that they like. And then they're good. They have a little interpersonal rating, so they have some kind of skill, not useless. And then another decision, so this one's cult related. So kind of like the factions, there's also cults, and they're kind of a weirder flavor that'll want you to do things. They want us to do a personal meditation session. It will help our soul to spend some time with them. And so these are kind of just flavor things that then play into events and stuff, kind of Crusader Kings type things where you don't know exactly how it's going to play out. You can say yes or no. He says, who can object against meditation? Well, apparently this guy does. But yeah, we'll engage with that and let them help us with some meditation, get relaxed. But of course, that might suck us into things later down the line. But those are some of the examples of the many different decisions that'll pop up that add flavor on top of all the mechanics of the game. Now, before we commit to anything else, let's move some of our forces around and see what we can see. I can see here those yellow beaks or whatever, they moved out of that spot, so maybe we'll see if we can push in that direction a little bit, capture a little more territory without having to fight them, because as I recall, they were a little tougher than our forces maybe want to take on. And then I want to push in this direction, because we have over here, these are the non-aligned forces, so that's just kind of the Wild West. Over here is the minor regime of Britannis, who we haven't normalized relations with, so our border is still in flux. So now is probably the time to push and get us a little breathing room in that direction, because our nation's kind of like a sliver right here along this road. So there is a geyser out there that could give us a geyser turbine a different way without having to run all the way over there. There's one right here. Let's see if we can run. Nope, they're sitting on it. That would have been too easy if we could have just snagged that. But maybe we can push up here and just, if they slip off of it, we'll grab it if we can. And then here, kind of want to push up just to get some room, even though there's not really anything there. And then our super advanced tank that we found that is way stronger than anything else we have in our military put together. So see, oh, there is a little town right there. Maybe we'll try to push up and grab that if we can. And then down here, these guys, sure, go ahead and just keep pushing. We can always pull back. Once we get a little too far out there, we'll be stretching our logistics, which we'll touch on the basics of that in this video. Maybe on the next turn if some of these guys start getting out of supply. These guys will start getting out of supply for sure. So even though we didn't commit to this, we do still control these guys. So we'll try to march them back home if we can. But I don't know if they'll make it. Maybe we'll have to meet them up in the middle if possible. Okay, so that's moving those guys around. Let's look at our what else we got going on. Another thing we could do now is let's go ahead and take a little look at our leaders here. So if we go to reports, there's a few ways to get to this, but if we go to reports under leaders, we can see our cabinet. So these are our high level leaders who are assigned to our really important positions. And as we add more councils, they'll pop up here as well. Our personnel overview, which lists out all of them. Right now we only have 8, so we don't have that many, but eventually we could have quite a few more. And we can see which ones are parts of factions, what's going on with that, and then if they have any demands, which good, we don't have any right now, so that's nice. If we look here, one thing you might want to look at is see if your leaders are suited to the positions that they're in. So you can get nitty gritty on it and the exact skills, exactly what you're looking for, but a general helpful thing is just click here for suitability, sort them, and we can see that, okay, our secretary, he's pretty suitable for his position. Our commander of the strategic HQ is a little bit, and then it kind of drops off there almost down to nothing. So just as an example where we might want to replace someone is we look and see, okay, Hopper Zimmerman, he's the director of the Economic Council. His suitability is 1. We assigned him there because he was literally the only person we had available to assign to that position. We can see that he's not that great for it. Now he's gained a little experience since he got started, and he's happy there, but maybe we could put someone else in there just as an example of how to do that. So you can come up here and you can play a stratagem on them if you want to, or you can call any of your characters, and then depending on what position they hold, you'll have other options here. So just as a sidebar while we're here, so for the Economic Council, we set those things like what do we want to be researching, what are our priorities, what do we want to be focusing on discovering. We can actually change those things here by spending a little bit of political points. We can call up that person and take some actions, or in this case, we can tell him that he's relieved from duty. Sorry.
Wilco.
And then he's saying, so we're going to fire him. He has some seniority ranking, so there'll be some negatives for that. He is in a faction, so that'll make the other people in that faction be a little upset. And then we can say, all right, we're going to give you a better job. We're going to promise you a better job soon. So that might make him happy, but we do have to give him a better job. And it does cost us political points or other job or no job. So like if you were going to remove someone, you're going to promote them, you can tell them, oh, hey, don't worry about it. We're moving you up. And so that'll smooth things over. But we're going to kick him out for right now with no job at all. So he's really upset with us. Sorry about that, buddy. So if we look at him now, yeah, 17, he's not happy with us, but it's for the greater good, you know. So now that spot's going to be open, and we'll have to wait till next turn, and hopefully we can pop someone in there. Now if we look, we have these 2 reserve guys that we've picked up, new leaders, and we can see, okay, he has got technical rating 52. He's got, and if we come down here, we can see the more broken down even more. He's really good at trade. For the Economic Council, we might be looking for like prospecting. If we were wanting to find some more resources, we could really boost our chances of the prospecting here depending on what we have available, but we'll just leave that. If we look here, got interpersonal rating, which can be good for other things, but not necessarily the Economic Council. So maybe we're gunning for putting Mr. Valerian in there on the next turn. While we're here, we can kind of look at other things you can do with your leaders. You can call up your secretary, who you'll have at the beginning, and can do things like redo the national budget, push for a new organization, change some salaries. Let's open that up while we're here.
Yes, sir.
And now we can adjust salaries. So we can say, all right, how much are we paying people in different positions? Do we want to increase that to make them happier? It's going to cost us more money to do that. So So just as an example, you can come here and boost some things up if you want to. Let's boost our strategic HQ salary up just a little bit, just for fun.
Yes, sir.
And that'll make them a little happier. And then if we look at Vander there, okay, so no options for him. But if we look at the director, you can change some priorities there too. So depending on what role they have, you can change different things. Now, one that is kind of here that the game might not mention to you at the beginning is you have an advisor. And so you have limited slots for advisors. I think you start with just one, and then eventually later you can have more advisors. These are characters you can basically assign to another character to give them a bonus role when you're playing a stratagem. So depending on if you have a character who has a really good skill and you can't get them into some leadership position, but you want them to advise the person in that position for whatever reason, maybe they're just really good at one particular thing. This guy's good at bribery, which is interesting, and leadership. We can call up our advisor, say, okay, we want to attach you to someone, and we'll attach you to our overall director of Supreme Council, because he's the person who's going to be playing most of our stratagems at that level, like at the higher level. He's our guy. But when we go to roll it, that advisor adds on basically a second chance at a roll, so that can be helpful. Now, yeah, so we'll keep looking at that as we go, but that's kind of a couple basic ideas of how to look at your leaders and things you can do with them from there. It's not obvious with the game at first that you can call those people up and have them do stuff, and then I did notice on the strategic map we identified another minor regime. So this is Alero. We do have another spy available, so target them.
Yes, sir.
And critical success. So very nice. We rolled 108. So that gives us double the number of spies. So we'll be spying on them real good. Now, I don't know. We could probably do some more stuff this turn, but let's go ahead and get to the next turn and see if we can get this finished, because we're almost there. We just need a little more workers and industrial points to get our metal mine up and running. So that would be nice. And then we've pushed out a little bit. Maybe not the most efficient use, but we'll go ahead on to the next turn and see what else happens. Next turn. Never know what's going to happen. Gain national pride. Well, that's good. We're doing good. We got some new stratagems, field training, so we can get 100% increased experience while reducing attack and defense. So like right now, while we're not fighting a war or anything, might be a good time to play that on a unit. Boost them up. Okay, so now unit has a low supply. So yeah, I think the game is pushing us to take a little look at supply. Probably finish the video off with this topic, since I don't want to get don't want the video to go on too long. I want to keep these a little shorter. All right, so we got this pop up here helping us out, saying some of our units have supply problems, including the 3rd Granite Top Guards Battalion, which is these guys down here. We can see they have the little black dot there instead of the green dot. Now they got the black dot. That's not good. So ensure supply to units, and how works the logistical? That's a great question. How does the logistical work? And you can come over here. I don't think I ever mentioned before, you can, if you get reports and come down here to help, there is some help files here that are right there in the game that you can jump to. This doesn't explain all the things in the game, but it does give you a few things. And one of really helpful one is, yeah, supplying units. You can see the little dot, black block, not good, no supply at all, red, bad, green, good. Pretty easy if you know what you're looking at there. And then how works the logistical network? This is a great question. This is a huge question that probably could be its own video. And as we go, we'll work on expanding out on this concept. But right now, let's just look at the basics of being able to see what is going on with the supply situation. Now, to see what's going on with your logistics, you can come up here to the second tab, and there's a whole logistics block of buttons right here. Now again, we're not going to get into the depths of building out your logistical network. This is just to visualize what's going on right now. So if we hit the first one, current points, it's a little confusing. First one is current points. So this is the logistical points left after some have already been used this turn. And we can see that it's purely along this road. So of course, our main city is the source of supply for our logistics. And because we have this transport hub here, which actually is a private asset. We started the game with it, and it gives us a bunch of truck points that are producing these logistical points. And so along this road, great. But anywhere else, it's not really pushing out in a big way. If we look at used points, this is the most useful one to kind of see what's going on. So we can see where are those logistical points actually being used. We can trace along the road, yes, and then these green lines going out to these units. So the units have sort of an organic logistical range to them, how far they can go back to get supplies. So as long as we have these green lines, great. They're pushing out over land without the roads to these units, so they're still green. They're getting enough supply to be happy. These guys, they have the little black box, so they're not happy. They're too far away, so we need to bring them home. If we look down here, we see our double spies from the last turn worked really great. In one turn, we revealed so much. We can see so much of what's going on down here, but we can see there's nothing. There's a whole bunch of wilderness between here and the next interesting place, which this is interesting because they have a small degraded automated factory that makes 40 industrial points per turn for free. That would be nice, but it's really far away. There's no way our unit's going to get to it without just totally going out of supply and wasting away, so we're not going to worry about that right now. These guys, they're not that far out, but they are cut off because this tank unit doesn't control as much space around it as a large unit, because it's just like, even though it's really powerful, it's only these 10 guys, so they don't project out very much. So if we want to help them out, we'll look at that in a second. And then up here, these guys are in really bad shape too, which I don't know if we can even bring them home at all. We'll try. We need to change, so we're in inspect mode, so we'll change back to move mode. Oop, and they ran into hostiles. So they got ambushed. What? Well, that's a great example. Your guys can get ambushed. So they're in a bad way now. They don't even know what they ran into. Trying to go to that town. Probably should have known better and gone around. And we've already lost that, so these guys are probably doomed. Now, these guys, not doomed. We could pull them back immediately, but I do kind of want to take control of this Inglemar here and loop that into our nation. So how could we push some supply out further and bring this situation, improve the situation a little bit? So we can, there's a few things. We're not going to build any of the logistical buildings right now, but the most straightforward thing we can do is build a road to extend these really good points like this, go along the road. So if we build more road, we can push our network out and spread those supplies where we want them to go. If we want to build a road, so it's got its own special button here. Come here, we've got this hex selected, say construct road, and then we can do a dirt road. We haven't researched sealed roads. There's like better roads. There's railroads. Right now, all we got is dirt road, but it costs 20 industrial points per hex. But we've got a few to spare. We just finished our metal mine, and so we've got 62 on hand, so sure. And that also reminds you that it is the industrial points, very important resource. So now we're in dirt road construction mode. So we'll connect. Actually, we'll need to select. So now we're in that mode. We'll left click, select that hex where we want to build from. We can't build from one that's not already connected. We have to build out from our existing network. And we'll build from there down to here. And just right click does it. And then you see we spent some of our points. We still got 38 left. We'll build out a little bit more. And then now we don't have enough to go any further, but that's okay. So, or well, any further in this direction, because this is low mountain. So it's going to be a lot harder to build a road through there, a lot more expensive. We're not going to do that. So we'll switch back to just move mode. And if we look at our logistics again, so there's another one, preview. We can preview that now the logistics are going to push out to there on the next turn. So we know that. We can turn that off, and then to help these guys out, I'm also going to move these infantry up to connect them back in. So on the next turn, we control Inglemar, and we'll see. So I don't know, we'll see if the logistics will push over the mountains here and into there, or if they'll be in a bad way. We'll see how that works out. We'll go one more turn. Okay, and then last thing for this video, let's look at how to raise up a new military formation. So we have our militia forces that we started with. One thing to note is if you look on their icon, it has a little M right there, so to remind you those are militia. They're great at the beginning of the game because they're free to start and they can explore around you and do some basic fighting, but they're not going to be good for the long term. They're just going to get outclassed by other units that show up. So what we need to do is start raising some regular military forces, and there's plenty to it, but the basic version is we'll come up here to this first tab, we'll do raise formation, and you get this screen. Now it has a bunch of tabs here. We're not worried about any of those just yet. We're just going to look at the first one. You may default to this multi-unit with OHQ, so that's an operational headquarters. That's going to create a big unit that has multiple sub-units, so you'll have 5 counters you're moving around plus a headquarters for it. And the nice thing with that is, of course, you're getting a bunch of units that are organized together. That headquarters, you can assign a leader to it. So if you have someone who's a really good military leader, you stick them in that operational headquarters, and it's going to benefit all the troops underneath them. But we can't afford this just yet. We don't have enough manpower. It's going to take a bunch of resources. So we're approaching where we could kind of get one of these, but for our demonstration here, we're going to switch it to independent. Oh, and then over here, you could click size. So brigade's the smallest multi-unit. You could go up to a corps or army, which is massive, 62,000 infantry, which we only have 4,800 recruits available. So we're not doing that. But, and then as you see, there's only like 3 options here at the beginning. As you research new unit models, you can also get new formations of units that will be more interesting than just the basics here. But we'll click independent. So this is going to recruit a single unit, so like 1 counter on the map. It can still be larger, so it can be a regiment or a division, so it can be a pretty big unit, 12,000 troops in an infantry division. But for us, we're just going to be doing the battalion. And then we see down here we have various options, but right now it's still a question of resources. So really a nice choice early on, if you can afford it, is a independent recon battalion. That's 50 buggies. They pack a little more punch than your regular infantry, and they're very mobile. So that's definitely one worth looking at, but pretty expensive too. 110 industrial points, 140 metal, which right now we're wanting that. We want to dedicate that to getting our industrial center up and running, and then later, once we get those precious industrial points going and the metal, then we can afford all kinds of stuff, but we're still very limited right now. So we'll just pull up this one, and one useful thing is percentage, like what resources do we have to recruit one of these things here. So like we're at 80%, so we could get this one a little quicker. So we click on that and see that, yeah, we have 80% of the stuff we need to get this unit raised. So you can raise a unit before you have everything, just kind of like a building. It'll be in progress till it's done. It'll fill in. And then these new units, though, they'll be totally inexperienced. So the game tracks things like how experienced are your units. We'll get into it maybe in a future video, but like the models, so the unit type, like if you make a new tank unit, how it can be field tested, like how much has it been used in the field. It gets really, really in-depth, like everything you think of. So tying in another Paradox game like Hearts of Iron, unit design, unit field testing, getting better at that unit being used is a thing that's part of the game. But for right now, we're just going to recruit an independent infantry battalion, the most basic thing we can, and we can see we have most of the resources we need. Not quite enough industrial points. We only need 10, but we only have 8 right now. But we'll go ahead and raise it. And if you don't have, I think you have to have at least 50% to raise it. So we'll say we're raising it, but now it's not on the map anywhere just yet. Doesn't immediately appear. Or well, sorry, I take it back. It's right here, but it's not ready. They're still pretty weak, so we wouldn't want to raise them and then immediately send them to combat. And we can see on our order of battle, they are here. So our militia are all over here, and they are here under this independent regular units, and then underneath granite top, this infantry battalion. If you do build one of those multi-unit HQs, you can attach a couple of independent battalions to it, so you can kind of supplement them with whatever you want, tanks or whatever the case may be. But right now these guys are just operating independently, which is fine, but it means they won't get the benefits of having like a really good leader over them. They're just on their own. So now let's see, is there anything else we can do this turn? Okay, so we have a few more decisions to make. Quintus wants a special exemption. Oh man, here we go. So my son is eligible to be drafted into the military. However, he is physically weak and mentally not suited for war. Given an exemption, allow him to pursue a career in art. Come on now. So we could allow that. We'd make a few people happy, but we could say no. or we could even say reproach leader for even asking. So all these are going to push things in different directions. Totally up to you what you do. I'm going to say no, we can't be doing that. He can pursue art after he serves his time.
Yes.
And then policy speech, so time to give some more policy. So another chance to push things in a different direction. And this also is going to set a goal for us. So bureaucratic assets reach at least 2 levels, average security of our zones at least 6 points, industry assets at least 1 point. Go with industry because we're working on that right now. So
Yes, sir.
that way we give ourselves another little goal. And then, oh yeah, back around to appointing someone for our economic council. So we can see Vlad Cunningdark. He does. Oh wait, well I guess I was wrong. Oh no, so our guy that I wanted to appoint is not even an option here. So yeah, you don't necessarily get to choose who you want. So yeah, Valerian, he's over here, suitability 12, much better than either of these guys, but he wasn't nominated. So that could be because he's unaligned, he's not in a faction, there's no one advocating for him. So we could postpone it and put it off, but that means no one's leading the economic council. That's kind of a thing you can run into is you kick this guy out, but now no one nominated the guy that I wanted in there because he's not part of any faction where these guys both are. That kind of helps them out. So kind of interesting these little subtle twists to this game that make it so interesting. And so so many things to think about. All right, so Vlad, you'll go ahead and get the spot because you've got suitability 6, better than suitability 1. We would have liked to get our guy in there, but we'll get him in for something else.
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
And it makes him happy. Okay, now let's see. The last thing I was thinking, let's go ahead and get our industry. Let's get that going. So industry 1, that's going to be a big investment, but now we should have our metal coming in, a way more per turn. It's still going to take a while, but if we can get that going, then we get our precious 50 industrial points per turn, which will really kickstart our economy. And then in the next video, to get that going, we'll look at the other things that we can build once we have a little basic economy going. And maybe look at building some of these logistics buildings to help us push our logistics out further. We'll go ahead and start on industry. And we can see, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a long haul on that. Yeah. Need some machines. We have 1. We do have some money, so we'll go ahead and buy some more machines while we can. They're a little more expensive now than they were last time. That'll get that enough to get that going. So we'll yeah, I'm gonna stop here before I hit click next turn, or else I want to keep going. So I'm gonna stop here. Don't want this video to get too long. I know it's kind of just covering a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but that's the nature of this game. Is it's hard to focus on just one thing at a time. I think I will pull these guys back because I don't want them to get too out of supply. So we'll pull back to there and then see if we can push out. If we get those industrial points, we could build a road through the mountains and get into the open plains over here. That would be perfect. We could build a little supply point out here. I think we'll go for that next time. Demonstrate how that works, pushing supply out further with establishing your logistical network. But anyway, stay tuned for next time. We'll dive a little deeper. Maybe we'll get some more research going, some more councils, and maybe some more construction of our economy and all those different goodies. Don't have any private economy stuff popping up. I would hope by now we get something, but before too long we'll get something going there. And we'll see how it goes, and maybe do some more diplomacy, fight some more battles. Be sure to hit like, subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.